Somebody that I would never cancel, and I know people hate him and they try to cancel him every other day, is DDG. I've been watching him for years, and I feel like the bad person that y'all try to make him out to be is just not true. And so, this person made a tweet talking about that she's rage baiting him. I mean, that he's rage baiting her by releasing the song that he made, kind of talking about their situation a little bit. And then talk about some knowing that she's about to release an album. DDG has been talking about his album for months now. And talking about how vulnerable he's going to get on this album. He has every right to talk about his situation. Just like she's going to release her album, and she has every right to talk about her situation from her POV. It is not our business, and it's not our right to be telling somebody that they're wrong for expressing themselves. He wants to be a father to his son. He wants to heal his relationship with his baby mom because they have to parent their child for 17 years. You need to want to be in a healthy relationship. I feel like people try to paint him as the bad guy all the fucking time because all of these narratives and then these clips. But I feel like if you actually watch his content, and I've been watching him for years, I used to like I know this nigga, but I don't. But I just don't see him being a bad person. I don't see him being the person that people make him out to be on the internet.
Today, we need to talk about what's going down between DDG and Halle Bailey. Because this story has gone from sweet romance to full-blown heartbreak with a side of courtroom chaos. And now, their little boy Halo is caught right in the middle of it all. For months, the internet's been split right down the middle. Team DDG versus Team Halle. But this latest custody exchange changed everything. It wasn't about music, fame, or clout. It was about their baby. And honestly, it might be the first time people started seeing this whole...
I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you. The DDG song is terrible, but what he's saying, it is real. They both allegedly put hands on each other. So you can't come on this internet and just be one-sided about the whole domestic dispute. They both, in the court case, have stated that they have been assaulted by each other. So if Halle assaulted DDG, why is she allowed to be around a child and DDG is not? That's not fair. We're not going to play those games. It seems like she's just using the child as a pawn, which we've known so many women to do in the history of the world. So don't act like she's exempt from that. I just think it's not... I feel like everybody's bashing DDG and not bashing Halle. Like, she gives kind of crazy. She gives lunatic. She gives like that crazy enraged girlfriend that if you just don't answer the phone the first time she calls, now she's putting 7 air tags in and all over you when you travel.
Halle Bailey and DDG broke up back in late 2024. At first, they tried to keep it classy, co-parenting, smiling for the cameras, acting like two people who had it all figured out. But by May of 2025, the mask had slipped. Halle filed a restraining order, accusing DDG of being physically and verbally abusive, even claiming he slammed her face into a steering wheel. That's not the kind of thing you come back from easily. She said it all happened in front of their son, little Halo, which made it even worse. The court granted Halle temporary custody, and DDG was hit with restrictions.
DDG, he just seems like maybe he's not ready to be in a relationship. Like, they both have their flaws, literally. Clearly, I wouldn't date him. Like, I wouldn't recommend y'all. It's like, we get it. They both have issues, but for y'all to act like, oh, Halle needs to take the baby and get far away from him. No, that's not just her child. That's his child too. And I think that y'all are being so one-sided about the situation because y'all like Halle, y'all like her music and all that stuff, which, I mean, I don't care for them equally. So that's why I could give an objective opinion about it. Let's see how the court trial goes out. They need to get 50-50 custody of this child because it's both their child. They're both financially stable. They're both on the same level mentally. Maybe him a little bit more because y'all keep hollering that she's going through postpartum. Well, if you're going through postpartum, go take care of yourself and let him have his child. Let him see his child. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. I already know that y'all about to have so many negative things to say, so just come on, keep the comments coming. But if y'all gonna say that DDG can't see his child because of the alleged domestic things, then Halle shouldn't be able to see her child either because of the alleged domestic things. And I'm signing out. Peace.
But in true Hollywood fashion, he clapped back. DDG filed his own restraining order, claiming Halle was unstable, that she was tracking him with AirTags, and that she had threatened to harm herself. He basically flipped the narrative, saying she was the dangerous one. At that point, it stopped being a breakup and turned into a full-blown war. The court stepped in again. Halle was allowed to travel overseas with the baby for work, and DDG was limited to supervised visits. But that's where things get wild, because the most recent custody exchange might have just exposed how deep this whole thing really goes.
Halle Bailey,
I'm your auntie in Georgia, your virtual auntie. Do not drop any kind of charges or any kind of court things that you have on DDG. I don't care what the fuck he told you he was. I feel he did not say he felt enough about you to even put a ring on it. So please do not fall for that. That is a narcissistic trait. He's playing with your mind. Do not have any discussions without talking to your lawyer. And you're right. You need to email him because he's a motherfucker that will get on the internet and capitalize off of his feelings when he has how you can tell it's clout. He has access to you. When he's going through a song, it's clout. Who cares if he says he feels something about you? He didn't care enough to marry you. He didn't care enough not to embarrass you. He tried to steal your whole plot or whole life as far as it goes with Little Mermaid. He tried to steal these shows. And I don't care what nobody said. There are men out here that are jealous of women like Blueface, to name a couple, like Ray J, to name a few, they want to be you. He wanted the success that you have, and he didn't know how to go about it. Because no matter what you do, and no matter what he does, he'll still never be as successful as you. You are going down in history as the first black Disney mermaid. And what's he going down in history for? Crashing out on the fucking internet. Don't listen to him. There's nothing that he said that couldn't be relayed through a lawyer. Know that he does. If he wanted to have visitations or no lawyers involved, he would have did right in the first place. What he showed you was what you're going to get. So he's going to pretend like he made a song that helped. Oh, I talked through my song and told you how I felt. No, don't believe that. Real men tell you what they want. They tell you when they don't want you either. Don't ever fall for that was a clout move. It was a clout move for educational, entertainment purposes only.
According to new court documents, DDG was dropping Halo off for one of those supervised exchanges when something unexpected happened. The moment DDG tried to leave, Halo completely broke down. The baby was crying uncontrollably, screaming, shaking, totally inconsolable. Even the monitor, who's literally there to keep the peace, couldn't calm him down. Halle arrived to pick him up, and usually, that's when kids settle. But Halo didn't stop, so the monitor called DDG back inside. And the second DDG walked through that door, everything changed. Halo stopped crying, just froze mid-tear, looked up and said, "Hi, hi." He lifted his arms, reached for his daddy, and the crying just stopped. Now, that moment, that was heavy, because you could hear the internet split in real time. Half the people said, "See? That baby loves his dad. He feels safe with him." The other half said, "That's manipulation. He's too young to understand what's happening." But either way, it painted a picture that none of the earlier headlines did. The court document literally describes Halo reaching out, smiling, saying hi over and over again as DDG picked him up, got him a little apple juice and a pastry, and calmed him down. It wasn't staged. It wasn't filtered. It was just a father and son moment that hit people right in the chest. And that's when the internet stopped arguing about the restraining orders and started focusing on the real question. What is actually best for Halo? Because let's be real, when a child that young only feels calm in one parent's presence, that's not drama, that's attachment. And whether people love or hate DDG, that moment made one thing clear. Halo loves his dad deeply. Now, of course, both sides ran with their versions. Holly's fans said DDG's just playing a long game for sympathy, that he's using the baby's reaction to manipulate the public. DDG's fans said it proved everything they'd been saying for months, that he's not the monster people made him out to be. And then the internet did what it does best. Took sides, dug trenches, and started firing shots. Some creators started posting saying, "I've been watching DDG for years. He's not this villain y'all think he is." The media twisted his image. Others came to Halle's defense, saying she's a new mom, trying to protect herself and her baby while being attacked online and stalked by her ex. Meanwhile, the truth might be sitting somewhere in the middle, buried under all the pain, pride, and publicity. But one thing is for sure, this custody battle isn't about music or fame anymore. It's personal. And what happened during that exchange might just become the key piece of evidence that changes everything in court. Because you can fake a lot of things in Hollywood, relationships, headlines, even tears, but you can't fake the way a baby reacts when they see someone they love. After that custody exchange report dropped, social media lit up like it was the Super Bowl of drama. You had fans, creators, gossip pages, and even aunties on TikTok fighting each other in the comments like it was personal. Because this wasn't just a celebrity breakup anymore. This was a custody storyline being played out in real time, and everybody suddenly had something to say about parenting, abuse, postpartum, and clout. Some people came to DDG's defense hard. They said he's been villainized since day one, that people never really forgave him for how public and messy his content can be. "I've watched DDG for years," one fan said in a viral TikTok. "The bad guy image the internet tries to paint? It's not who he really is. They pointed out that he's been open about his mistakes, that he's trying to be a present father, that he's been making music to process the pain. When he dropped that new track where he talked about the breakup, people accused him of rage-baiting Halle, but his supporters pushed back. He's an artist, they said. She's about to release an album too. They both get to tell their stories. To them, the song wasn't shade, it was therapy. But then came the other side, the people who weren't buying it for 1 second. There was one clip that went viral instantly, an older woman calling herself Halle's auntie in Georgia. She sat in her car, shades on, voice full of fire, telling Halle straight up not to fall for any emotional traps. Baby, do not drop those charges. Do not have any conversations without your lawyer. He is manipulating you. That clip alone racked up millions of views because she said what a lot of people had been thinking, that DDG was using clout and sympathy to stay relevant off Halle's name. If he wanted to be a good man, the auntie said, he would have done right when he had the chance. Don't fall for no song, baby. Real men tell you how they feel to your face. And that's when the conversation started shifting. It stopped being about who was right or wrong in court and started being about who was winning online. Creators were breaking it down like a televised trial. One side calling DDG the most misunderstood YouTuber turned rapper. The other side calling Halle a woman finally standing up to emotional manipulation. Everyone had receipts, but no one had the full story. Even music blogs got involved, running headlines like DDG's new song, Healing or Hitting Below the Belt, and Halle's legal silence, strength or strategy. It became a PR war. But beneath the memes and think pieces, there was something raw happening. Fans started posting edits, clips of DDG holding baby Halo next to court screenshots, layered with sad R&B instrumentals. Others edited together Halle's red carpet moments with captions like, she's protecting her peace. It was emotional content disguised as gossip, and both sides were feeding off it. The wildest part, both of them stayed quiet publicly while the fans fought for them. DDG would drop a cryptic lyric or tweet, "They hate when you move in silence." Halle would post a serene selfie with a caption like "Grace and Peace." And boom, the internet would explode all over again. But behind that glossy filter, the reality was ugly. Both sides had court filings accusing each other of abuse. DDG's side said Halle tracked him with AirTags and threatened self-harm. Halle's side said DDG was violent and verbally cruel. The same story told two completely different ways. And somewhere in the middle was a little boy who didn't ask for any of this. That's when another wave hit the timeline, the neutral voices. These were the fans and bloggers who said both sides needed to stop weaponizing the baby and start focusing on healing. One commentator said, if she really has postpartum, she needs care. If he really wants to be a dad, he needs therapy. But this online chaos, it's hurting Halo the most. Of course, that didn't slow anything down. It just gave the internet new fuel. Then DDG's music started trending again. People dissected every lyric like a legal document, trying to find hidden references to Halle, Halo, even the custody case. Some said he was exploiting his pain for streams. Others said he was finally showing vulnerability. And through it all, the court case kept moving quietly behind closed doors, while the fans turned it into a reality show. At this point, the conversation wasn't just about a breakup or a custody battle. It was about fame, reputation, and how messy love gets when millions of people are watching. Halle and DDG weren't just exes anymore. They were symbols in a larger debate about black love, social media toxicity, and what it really means to raise a child in the public eye. By midsummer, both camps had hardened their lines. Halle's team leaned into silence and protection. DDG's camp leaned into transparency and content. And the rest of us? We were left scrolling, trying to figure out which version of the truth we believed. Because in this story, every new clip, every court update, every tearful lyric feels like a new episode. And the only thing that's certain is that Halo is the one living through the aftermath. Months have passed since that heartbreaking custody exchange, and the story of DDG and Halle Bailey has only gotten heavier. What started as a picture-perfect Hollywood love story ended with lawyers, court filings, and a baby caught in the crossfire. And now, we're watching two people rebuild themselves from the ruins in two completely different ways. On one side, Halle's silence has become her armor. She doesn't post rants. She doesn't clap back. Every appearance she makes, from red carpets to interviews, feels carefully measured. Fans call it grace, but others call it damage control. Because behind that soft voice and polite smile, there's clearly a woman who's been through something. On the other side, DDG is doing what he's always done, talking through his art. Every song, every vlog, every post feels like a subtle message. Some of his fans see it as healing, others say it's manipulation, but no matter how you see it, one thing is clear: DDG refuses to fade quietly. The problem is, the internet doesn't let anything die. People bring up the court documents like receipts every few weeks, debating every word. Some say DDG should have never been given visitation rights. Others say Halle's using the system to control the narrative. It's an endless loop of opinions, and no one really wins. But what's undeniable is that little Halo has become the silent center of all this noise. Every small moment with him, a giggle on FaceTime, a paparazzi shot in his stroller, even a lyric mentioning his name, gets turned into content. The internet forgets sometimes that this is an actual child who will grow up and one day read all of this. And that's where this story gets painful. Because for all the headlines, hashtags, and debates, this isn't really about fame anymore. It's about what happens when two young stars crash into parenthood under the blinding spotlight of social media. When every fight, every tear, every custody order becomes public record, it stops being just a breakup. It becomes a performance. And the sad truth, nobody performs well in pain. Even the so-called receipts tell a messy story. Halle said he was controlling, that he crossed lines. DDG said she tracked him and made threats. Maybe both things are true. Maybe neither are. But it's clear both of them were drowning in a relationship that had stopped being safe long before the internet got involved. People close to them say they're both still healing in private. Halle's thrown herself into her career, studio sessions, award shows, brand deals, anything to keep the focus off her personal life. DDG's doing the same, dropping songs and vlogs like therapy sessions. But if you listen closely, you can hear the exhaustion in both of them. That kind of pain doesn't disappear overnight. And now, their public image is permanently tied to this story. For Halle, it's a cautionary tale of what happens when you fall in love too young, too deep, too fast, especially with someone who also lives for the spotlight. For DDG, it's proof that fame can't protect you from scrutiny, not when every move you make gets dissected by millions. But maybe the biggest lesson in all of this isn't about either of them. Maybe it's about how the internet treats Black love stories, turning real pain into entertainment, turning court battles into trending topics. Because at the end of the day, we weren't supposed to be watching any of this unfold. Yet here we are, analyzing custody papers like playlists, crying over a baby we've never met, and choosing sides in a story we'll never fully understand. The truth is, they both lost something. Halle lost the fairy tale. DDG lost the family. And Halo, he lost the chance to have both his parents in the same room without tension. That's the real heartbreak behind all the headlines. But here's what people forget. Stories don't end just because social media moves on. There's still a little boy who will grow up, still parents who will cross paths at birthdays and holidays, still a chance, however small, that one day all of this pain might turn into peace. Until then, fans will keep watching, speculating, and searching for clues in songs and smiles. Because that's what we do. But maybe, just maybe, it's time we let this story rest, at least for a while. Because behind all the gossip, all the screenshots, and all the shade, this isn't just content, this is someone's real life. So what do y'all think? Did DDG cross the line, or is he just misunderstood? Was Halle protecting herself, or did the internet push her too far? Let me know what you think down below. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that hype button because the Spill Zone is always watching, and you already know. We'll be back with more tea.